everybody, and welcome to hopefully my last video of the day by the time this goes up. And in I guess this video I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Tammy Baldwin and Donald Trump. For those of you that don't know, Baldwin is a populist progressive senator from Wisconsin, and I would assume that you know who Donald Trump is, a populist, Trumpist, obviously, former president. So I'm gonna start off by labeling all of Baldwin's safe states. Colorado would definitely be safe. She's going to do much better with the Hispanic and Latino vote. I don't see her doing poorly enough. I see Trump being obviously really strong with the white rural vote, but I don't see it being enough. I also think that Baldwin would do pretty well in the suburbs. Trump's safe states, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, I actually think would be safe. Baldwin's the type of candidate that she's really good, so normally I would say that Montana is likely, but Baldwin is a progressive, and Montana is a more traditional, moderate state, which is why I'm not going to give it to Baldwin. I'm going to give it to Trump safe. Obviously, I was never going to give it to Baldwin, but you know what I mean. For Baldwin's likely states, she's going to go have New Mexico, Virginia, New Hampshire, Maine, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Nebraska second. So, I'm going to go start. I'm also going to label Trump's likely states: Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, South Carolina, Nebraska's first, and Alaska. So, for Baldwin, in New Mexico, she definitely has lots of appeal to the Hispanic and Latino vote in the state of New Mexico. There's definitely appeal there. She also, though, I'd say, has a lot of appeal to oil workers in the state of New Mexico. It was already likely in 2020. Trump has a lot of appeal. Against most other Republicans, I would say maybe safe. But just against Trump, it's going to be likely. The thing about Baldwin and Trump is Baldwin and Trump both have lots and lots of appeal to the working class, which makes this a really, really weird situation. In the state of Virginia, Trump, I think, would do really well in rural Virginia and really run with the numbers there. But Baldwin would do very, very well in D.C. and its suburbs, which is why it would still be likely. New Hampshire, likely in 2020. Sorry, I just touched the mic again. I don't think she'd be able to get. I don't think she'd do poorly enough with the white rural college educated vote. Maine's second, or Maine at large. Maine second. Maine at large. Similar thing. I kind of want to say across the Rust Belt. People never like it whenever someone considers like Minnesota part of the Rust Belt. In Minnesota, I mean, like, she's gonna do really well in Detroit, Minneapolis. Detroit's in Michigan, not Minnesota. In Minneapolis and its suburbs, she's gonna do really well up here in the Iron Range. Do really well at the working class. Maybe not necessarily so much with these Midwestern farmer voters, but it's not necessarily gonna be an awful showing. Wisconsin is her home state. If she was able to win it by by over 10%, I see it still being likely for Baldwin. She's going to do really well. She's going to do really, really well at the working class in the 3rd district. She's going to do really well in Milwaukee, really well in Green Bay, and really well in Madison, which is why I think I'll probably be like D+5. Michigan, she's going to do really well in Detroit. She's going to really run up the numbers there. She's going to do really well with the working class, though. She has lots and lots of appeal to working class voters. And Nebraska's second. Trump has like no suburban appeal. For Nebraska's first, once again, not enough suburban appeal for Trump for him to be able to hold us safe. And she'd probably maybe nearly better in rural areas. I'm not certain. In Kansas, it was likely in 2020. She's probably going to do better in Kansas City suburbs. It's already shifting to the left. These suburbs are shifting the state to the left. Missouri, it could have been safe. It really could have been. I just see her doing better. I could see her doing slightly better with Midwestern farmers. It could be really strange though. Indiana, she's gonna do better with the working class, and she's gonna do pretty well in Indianapolis. South Carolina, it's I guess been shifting to the left. She's gonna probably do pretty well with the black vote, and probably pretty well, or I guess with the black vote. Not really amazing with the white rural vote. Alaska, she's going to do better with Native Americans who are turning out at higher rates. And she's also going to do better with oil workers. For her lean state, she's going to have Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Maine second, while Trump will have Texas, and Florida. So in Nevada, Baldwin has more appeal to the working class. I think she also has a lot more appeal to the Hispanic and Latino vote, and was already lean in 2020. I see it being a D+4. Pennsylvania, she has more appeal to the working class. I would normally say that Wisconsin votes to the right of Pennsylvania, because like that's what you would expect out of Wisconsin, but it is her home state. I would say that Wisconsin, if it wasn't her home state, is also lean D. Um, I see her doing pretty well in Philadelphia, doing better in urban areas. I see her doing very well in Pittsburgh with the working class, and probably pretty decent in the suburbs. I don't think that she's actually a pretty strong candidate for the suburbs. She's not like Mitt Romney, but she's pretty good. And then finally Nebraska second, or Maine second, not Nebraska second. It's been pretty conservative, but I think that she has a lot more appeal to a lot of these white rural voters, especially a lot of these white rural voters that voted blue for such a long time, and then reverted to Trump. I see her doing very, very well with them. For Trump's lean states, Texas, I don't see her necessarily improving with the white rural vote. I see her getting pretty strong numbers with the Hispanic and Latino vote. I don't necessarily know that turnout would be high enough. And I see her probably doing better in suburbs and probably better in these more urban areas. Florida, I don't think she would be very good in Miami, which would hurt her, and I don't necessarily know that she'd do amazing. And I guess if you call it rural Florida, most of Florida's not rural. But I think that she would do pretty well in a lot of these suburban areas, but it wouldn't be enough. Like we saw it in 2020. For her tilt states, Arizona and North Carolina, Trump will get Iowa and Ohio. So in Arizona, they really don't like Trumpists. I only give it to her tilt because I think that in these more traditionally Republican suburbs, she wouldn't do as well as she is a progressive. But still, they don't like Trump, and at the end of the day, she will still probably carry it. I just forgot to discuss Georgia. I think she's gonna do better in Atlanta and better in Atlanta suburbs. Trump will probably have pretty high turnout, in rural areas, but we're still seeing rural area turnout. I don't necessarily know that it would be amazing, especially considering, that Baldwin do pretty well in Atlanta, but regardless, for Trump's tilt states, I'm just gonna do these, and I'll do North Carolina last. In Iowa, I see Baldwin getting a lot of Obama to Trump voters, a lot of this progressive populism. I think would be really, really popular with a lot of these voters, and I think that she'd do very, very well. But I think at the end of the day, Trump is just too strong. In Ohio, it's really hard to tell. I do think that she would narrowly lose it because Trump would do very, very well with the working class. Once again, she would as well. She would do really, really well in Cleveland. She would do well in more urban areas, but she would do really well. She would do really well at the working class, but it wouldn't really be enough. And then North Carolina, I see her being pretty good in the suburbs and pretty good in these urban areas, but I think she would be really good at the working class, and it would be enough for her to be able to win at tilt. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.